Charlie Kirk and his organization, Turning Point USA, which is a
diaper fetish group.
Yeah,
pretending to be political.
Exists to fight campus culture war bullshit and get college Republicans to play the victim because they're mean fellow student. Because basically nobody likes them because the lowest form of life imaginable is a college Republican. Yeah. So this week, a fellow TPUSA, comrade or fellow traveler, member of TPU at Toilet Paper USA, tried to do this thing where to gin up outrage and get a professor fired or harassed for giving comments on a personal essay she wrote that seemed to correct not her writing but her point of view, to say that people kneeling for the national anthem in NFL games are in fact correct and you would have gotten an A if you had agreed with my liberal point of view.
Because this comes on the heel of them making a big push about how there is systematic discrimination against conservative ideas in college classes by professors. That was the claim. And of course, that led people to say, is there any evidence for this? And this was the attempt say this is proof that conservative students are being discriminated against because of their ideas.
I'm not going to say it was an essay. It's about 2.5 pages, double spaced.
The margins are like 4 inches. It's like a new inquiry article. It's right down the middle.
They posted screenshots of these professors' comments, which of course everyone could see was just very basic suggestions on how to write
how to
essay.
Make something not sound like you're 12.
And the person who wrote this is a TPUSA person. And before I get into this, I had some brief pang of something people were like, hey, maybe don't make fun of this on the show. She's just a dumb college kid, which is true, but she's also a op, 1,000%.
She's getting cold cash.
We should stop fetishizing the youth because some of these apple-cheeked children are the youth booned.
Yeah, see the movie The White Ribbon, okay? We should have dragged those kids before they turned into Hitler.
Do you mean the op as in operative or op as like Chief Keef says?
Both.
Okay, cool.
Both. I mean op in both senses of the word.
All right.
Okay, so this is I'm just going to read now her essay called Standing Up for Freedom.
Her essay, which was wrongly docked points because of wrong think. That's why. Because there was double plus ungood wrong think by a thought criminal.
Oh, and then right before we jump into this, this is TPUSA at Kent State, famous for, you remember the famous diaper guy?
No, it's in Kansas.
It's in Kansas?
Yeah, it's not. TPUSA Kent State is just the most famous branch.
Okay, but she took place in the diaper protest. The woman who wrote this article was blowing bubbles in the next to the adult diaper
I think
guy.
that's the woman who put it out.
Okay,
because it originally wasn't the student. She is a TPUSA person, but she sent it to the Kent State lady, and then she put it out there.
Okay, all right. Let's now read from, again, this essay is corrected, but I'm only going to read as it was originally written.
The original masterpiece.
Yes. Standing up for freedom. Ever since I was young, I always stood for the national anthem, and so did everyone around me. When entering high school, I found myself frustrated at the Friday night football games when someone would talk or wear a ball cap during the national anthem. I never thought by the time I entered college, people would be taking a knee during the national anthem. For me and my family, it felt like a punch in the gut. Not just a punch where you can punch right back, but one that you aren't expecting and it knocks the wind out of you.
Well, is this Proust? This is so evocative.
Not just a regular punch, but one of those punches where they spin their arm really, really fast
like
and then hit you and you go through the ceiling and then you're in the other floor and there's a big lump on your head and then there are birds flying around it.
Honestly, if this lady just drew a picture of Thomas the Tank Engine running over Colin Kaepernick while he's kneeling, she wouldn't have been done. They wouldn't have done 1984 The Animal Farm to her or whatever. It would be more concise than this bullshit.
I believe everyone who is a United States citizen should stand for the national anthem out of respect for the men and women who risk their lives daily for the freedoms of the United States citizens.
Whoa.
By the way, this is a very interesting, uniquely American thing, too, that I've heard other people say. And they're like, you've turned your national anthem into the dead troops anthem. We're just we like baguettes or, it's a much vaguer. It's more like the Puerto Rican flag where they just have it because they like it in every other country.
Yeah, I mean, Americans' favorite thing to do is to get pissed. Yeah. And the thing you can get the most pissed off about is imagining people disrespecting soldiers. We have, I'm not saying, economically or anything, but culturally, we have the most psychotic. Like,
Well, we
truth
feel
worshipping
politically
culture. We have a-
impotent, so we get culturally care lord.
Right. And we have this insane militaristic culture, but it's sort of filtered through this like weird outrage style thing. I mean, Amber, you've always talked about people weaponizing fragility. And I think one of the first places we saw that in mainstream culture was people just extrapolating things to mean that they were offensive to soldiers and offensive to people's
Yeah.
sacrifices.
Well, that's definitely like that's definitely the post-Iraq like biggest phenomenon of that. Like,
But talk about enforcing confines around people. You know, the first flank they did with Iraq was like, I don't care what you think about the war, but you have to support the troops, which is perfect because it's a completely nebulous concept.
means nothing.
It doesn't mean shit.
It means support the war they're fighting in. That's what it means.
But support the troops is affordable care for conservatives. You know, it's a meaningless term that they can just blanket over anything.
Well, you say it's meaningless, but let's see what this young lady has to say about what it means to her.
let's see what Talking Points Nose Guard has.
Coming to college, I never pictured a conversation topic being if people should be standing, kneeling, or sitting. Or
No, wait, go back.
Let's read this sentence again. TJ, run that back. Coming to college, I never pictured a conversation topic being if people should be standing, kneeling, sitting, or any other form of
That's a
protest
lot of gerund.
for the
Jesus
national
Christ.
anthem.
That's gerund. That's the gerundocracy right there.
My first semester, I saw
Dear Penthouse, I never thought this would happen to me.
This is
I got
like,
inged up the ing.
This is Blink 182, small things. Watching, sitting, kneeling. Say it ain't so. I will not go. Stand on the field. Kaepernick's a hoe.
My first semester, I saw multiple protests over this very subject. In the first month of classes, I got an email from a classmate that stated, join the Student Power Coalition and WOKE, which stands for here, World of Colored Empowerment, colored spelled with a K. I'd just like to say I
That's
don't
pretty
think
funny.
this
I'm gonna
exists.
I hope not.
Be
That's pretty
perfectly
embarrassing.
honest, if that does exist, the SJWs have gone too far. That's a terrible.
that's not a- dude,
that's
that-
a terrible acronym.
That's not SJWs. That's like Capadonna. That's a 90s rapper with that type of misspelling, purposeful misspelling.
This felt like such a battle for something that seems like a simple courtesy.
She really takes the scenic route on all her sentences.
I stand for the national anthem and the flag of my country.
No shit.
Because I was brought up in a home that is rooted in a military background. I was raised by my grandfather, who is a veteran of the United States Army. She goes on to list all the people she knows who, served in the military.
No, nothing about how this has anything to do with the stupid anthem in the first place.
The flag means
Again, it's just the anthem has become the dead troop anthem.
the flag means many things to so many people, but to me, it is something more. The United States flag is a symbol
it.
of freedom, commitment, honor, bravery, sacrificial love, and dedication. The flag, though it has been changed many times over the years, still encompasses these basic
I will
principles.
never recognize Wyoming.
Okay, you guys ready for this next sentence?
Don't go for it.
When the founding fathers came to America to form a more perfect union,
Great.
I know this is for an English class, but I can think of one thing wrong with that.
Well, no, but see, that's from the Gettysburg Address, so it's actually very literary. and
Okay.
smart.
That's called an illusion.
Yeah.
They inspired when the founding fathers came to America to form a more perfect union. They inspired generations to come to stand for the causes they believed in. They inspired the fight from the man that is obviously still ongoing.
Who is the man
Wait,
in the
what?
sentence?
I would like to
Not
say
the cops who shoot black people at will.
in this graded paper, the phrase that she puts in quotes, "the man," is just circled with a question mark next to it. So the flag was designed showing the strength of the 13 original colonies in the stripes and the 50 states in the stars.
When it was designed with the 50 states?
No. The original 13 colonies.
Was Betsy Ross, does she have psychic powers?
Soothsayer.
She already acknowledged that the flag has changed, so now she's explaining what
in
the current version
she says
is.
in the stars, showing the unity and progress of them. I stand for a flag of freedom.
Hell yeah.
I believe that everyone should stand for the national anthem to honor those who paid the ultimate sacrifice of their lives. I would think the statement alone would be enough to convince people to stand, but unfortunately, it is not. I believe everyone should stand because everyone knows someone who has risked it all. We are so privileged as to have the option to
You mean
stand.
we've all known somebody who went up to that girl who's reading at the bar. That girl who you just know she's never had a man really who could satisfy her. You're
Yeah,
gonna be
I mean
the
it's
one.
very
stand
it's
for
very
every-
someone about to participate in a breakdancing competition. They're gonna risk it all.
We are so privileged as to have the option to stand in honor or protest.
The option.
In
She
wait,
just
wait.
admitted
seems
that
like
there's an
much of
option.
Well, okay, here we go. Let me just get through this whole sentence because, man, it is a car wreck. We are so privileged as to have the option to stand and honor or protest in disrespect, unlike other countries. We have the privilege to show pride in who we are as Americans and what we say, do, or wear.
Gibberish.
Other countries like North Korea have no have no access to a public internet or any way to show their pride for a country of censorship. Wrong. Wrong.
so
The North
wrong.
Koreans
They have
love
so many
showing
ways
pride
to
for their
show
country.
pride.
They
They're
love
so
standing
good
for
at
their
it.
flag.
Yeah, she should love North Korea. You have to stand for the anthem. What does she?
By the way, we started.
What does the internet have to
Also,
do with it?
they go off for their national anthem.
You know, like we started this episode talking about really impressive national displays of solidarity. By the way, in the Winter Olympics, the breakout star of this year's Winter Olympics are the North Korean cheering sections.
Oh, yeah.
Who have these really cool, like coordinated chants and cheers for their country and their flag.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a
you
privilege.
should love that.
That's a privilege to do that.
Instead of singing some dour song about rockets, they're out there killing. There was a funny article that was like the dastardly North Korean propaganda. They pick cheerleaders based on attractiveness. And it's like, oh
Is
my
Jerry
god.
Jones in Scars of That Country now?
Yeah, it's just America reading that. I would never do that.
I think it is wrong to protest the national anthem for the sole fact that people died believing in the flag that we stand for.
They believed that the flag existed.
You know how many you know how many Koreans died for the fucking North Korean flag? A lot,
Like
fucking
a lot.
quite a few. I believe it is wrong for people to protest the anthem because it is disrespecting a symbol of our country's pride. America is the best country in the world with the most freedoms. To protest and disrespect
But never do it.
is absurd.
Never do it.
People believed so much in the United States anthem and flag that they literally gave and risked their lives for. And if someone believes anything means more than their freedom, they are wrong.
People
Gibberish.
risked their lives to retain
Gibberish.
the institution of chattel slavery.
Well, we should respect that flag too, Amber.
People risk their lives.
That's why
to,
I've never knelt at Grand Ole Opry.
people risk their lives to secure Lebensraum for the German people.
We have the duty to, at minimum, stand for an anthem that people literally gave everything for us.
Oh my
again, say it
god.
again.
I will continue to stand and encourage all to stand for the United States national anthem to honor the one person they know that served or serves. I will encourage and remain standing for the anthem of my great nation as it is the right thing to do. I will stand for my friends and family who believed in my freedom so highly they were willing to die for me to have my privileges and freedoms. I believe everyone should stand for the United States national anthem because someone believes so highly in this country that they will die for a stranger to be free.
Because life is precious, and God and the Bible.
And U.S. Americans.
That is.
In conclusion,
the thing
America is a
that,
land of
Like, that's
contrasts.
not really any worse than most freshmen fucking writing, because kids suck at writing.
I mean, I've taught
half-wits.
freshman writing.
How would you grade this, Amber?
Well, I wouldn't because I teach freshman writing. And like basically I give them a lot of time to revise. And a lot of what I do is say, read this out loud. Because
yeah.
that is how you learn whether you are making, the language words for the ears and the eyes or whether you are just vomiting up weird sounds.
Yeah, this is like if
I would say this requires revision.
I just want to read here the teacher's comments at the end of this awful lib professor. Clara, you make the same point repeatedly and do not take into account why some people are kneeling. I am also concerned about the contradiction. Decent writing, but look at my notes about sentence revisions.
Wow, that's incredibly polite.
That's very gentle.
That's so
also,
nice.
Any argument you have has to that is like the most obvious criticism. Any argument you have has to actually address the thing you're arguing with.
Yeah.
Which she never does once.
And
also it sounds insane.
It was
word
horrible.
salad.
It's gibberish. But the thing is that the main the chief sort of conservative critique of the academy in like the last couple of generations was, well, we've turned universities into these self-esteem factories for these kids. We don't make any requirements of them. We don't want to disabuse them of the false notions that they think, well, I'm smart enough, because you have to know that you're not good in order to become better, blah, blah, blah. And we're just creating this culture of permissiveness and no intellectual rigor. And now TPUSA has basically created a rubric for conservative students to go to college and say,
Right.
and walk around thinking you are already a genius because you're conservative, and any criticism, any bad grade you get is the result of liberal bias. And how the fuck is that going to encourage anything other than absolute soft brain idiocy? Like, this woman is never going to get any better.
Her
at
brain
thinking
Yeah,
or
sorry,
writing.
Completely
conservatives.
smooth.
Not
Yeah.
everyone gets a trophy.
Yeah, it is participation trophies, and they want them for being literally politically correct.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion,
I am
F.
standing
plus.
for flag.
F plus. You got.
I
an
am
F
doing
plus.
me. I am standing for flag.